Hi, welcome to Wise Guys. Today we're going to be talking about grouping and the distributive principle in algebra. Now, when we have algebraic expressions, which this is an algebraic expression right here, we often use symbols of grouping. And there can be parentheses, which look like this. So here we have parentheses. We can have brackets, which look like this, and braces, which go on the outside. So parentheses are inner symbols of groupings. They're on the inside. Brackets are in the middle. So you can see that the brackets are outside the parentheses. And then the outer ones, if we need them, are the braces. So these are outer. And all terms within a symbol are treated as a single unit. So what that means is when we have this minus sign here, it is subtracting everything inside these parentheses. This plus sign is adding everything that's inside this bracket. Now, let's work on some of these. When we're using the distributive principle, it follows this formula: A, which is our first number, times B plus C. So this is what's in the bracket. And when we multiply it through, which sometimes we have to do to work through algebraic expressions, we take A multiplied by B and add A and multiply it by C. Now A or B or C could be pluses or minuses. They could be positives or negatives. But we follow this formula regardless of whether they're positives or negatives. So let's just take a look at the first one here. This is our 7 is our A, our 3 is our B, and our plus 5 is our C. We take our 7 multiplied by the 3, we get 7 times 3. Then we add the 7 multiplied by the 5. Now if we work through the calculations here, we can see that this is 7 times 3 plus 5 is 8, so this is actually 7 times 8. 7 times 8 is 56. And if we calculate this one, we know 7 times 3 is 21, plus 7 times 5 is 35. So again, we have 56. So these clearly equal one another. Now, let's do the same thing using negatives. So here we have minus 6 times 5 minus 2. So what you do is you rewrite this as a minus 6, so that's our A, times 5, which is our B, plus a minus 2. Let's put this kind of a bracket here. So now we have our A here, minus 6, our 5 is our B, and our minus 2 is a C. And so we follow the same rules again. We have minus 6 times 5, which gives us this, plus minus 6 times minus 2. And that's how you solve it with, or work through it with a negative. Now let's work through some examples. And again, we're following the distributive principle. A times B plus C equals AB plus AC. So for the first one, here's A, our X is our B, and our 4Y is our C. So we're going to take 3 and multiply it by X. So we end up with 3X. And we're going to put in our plus sign and take our 3 and multiply it by the 4y. That becomes 3 times 4y. Now let's just multiply this through again so we get rid of the brackets. We have 3x plus 3 times 4 is 12, so we end up with 12 y. Now this next question has a minus in front of it. Sort of looks like we don't know what the number is here, but we just will put a 1 in there. It's the same as saying it's a minus 1 in front of that bracket. So now our a becomes a minus 1, and it might help to just put this in a bracket and remember it's being multiplied by the b plus 5d. So now we take minus 1, multiply it by the b. So we have minus 1 times b plus, don't forget your plus sign, a times c. So we have minus 1 times 5d. Now we have to multiply these through. Minus 1 times b is minus 1b. And we add. Minus 1 times 5d is minus 5d. But we still don't want these brackets in here, and we don't normally write numbers this way, minus 1b. We normally drop the 1 and write it as minus b minus b. Now for the next one, we're going to put in our oh, no, we're not. Sorry. This positive times the minus gives us a negative. So this is now a minus 5d. I'm just going to rewrite that because I made an error there. So this becomes minus b minus 5d. Here's our last question here. We have minus 2 times a minus 5ab. So in a situation like this, you want to rewrite this as a plus minus 5ab. So let's just rewrite that down here. Minus 2 times a plus minus 5ab. So this again is our number which is in front, minus 2. Our b is an a, and our c is a minus 5ab. So then we just multiply through again. Check, make sure it looks okay. Is it okay? We have minus 2 times a, so that becomes minus 2a, and then we add minus 2, which is multiplied by minus 5ab. So minus 2 times minus 5ab. Now we want to get rid of these brackets. This equals minus 2a plus, we have minus 2 times minus 5, that's a plus 10, so that becomes 10, and we add our ab on at the end. Now you may have noticed when we were working on the last questions that when you had minuses in front of your parentheses, the signs changed in the terms. So we're going to just walk through that a little bit here. When you're removing symbols of grouping and you have a minus sign in front of the symbol of grouping, you can remove the brackets and you just change the sign of each of the term inside the group. If you have a plus sign in front of your symbol of grouping, you can remove the signs and you leave the signs the same. So this would remain a plus 5x, this would remain a minus 3y. So let's just walk through this and see how it works. Because we have a 4y in the front here, we have to write it out that way. So we have, oh yes, just 1 minute here. We have a 1 in front of this parentheses, and so when we're multiplying through, we're multiplying a plus 1 by each of these things. So we're going to write it out as 4y plus 1 times 5x. Here's our 1 multiplied by our 5x. And in this situation here, we also have a plus minus 3y here. just going to rewrite that. 4y plus 1 times 5x plus minus 3y. So when we're multiplying through, again, we have the 1 multiplied by the 5x, and now the 1 is multiplied by the minus 3y. So we add the 1 multiplied by the minus 3y. Now we're just going to work through this and get rid of some of these brackets. 4y plus 1 times 5x is 5x. So we have 5x. We're going to just put down the plus sign here and deal with this. 1 times minus 3 gives us minus 3y. So we have minus 3y. Now we're just going to rewrite this one more time to get rid of this bracket. 4y plus 5x. The plus times the minus 3y gives us a minus, so this becomes minus 3y. Now you can see by looking at this, a little bit hard to see because I made a bit of a mess here, but you have 4y, you had a plus 5x, so we have a plus 5x in our answer. We had a minus 3y here, and we have a minus 3y in this answer. So when you have a positive sign, a plus sign in front of your parentheses, you can remove the brackets and keep the signs the same on your terms. Now let's work on the one that has the minus in front. I'm going to rewrite this as 4y plus, this is actually a minus 1 in front of the parentheses, so it's a minus 1 times 5x plus minus 3y. Okay, so this then is our A, going back to our distributive law. This is our B and this is our C. So we're just going to multiply them through like we've been doing. So we have 4y plus minus 1 times 5x. So we have minus 1 times 5x. Don't forget the positive sign there, so we put in our plus sign. And we have minus 1 times minus 3. So minus 1 times minus 3y. Now we're going to multiply this through and get rid of some of these brackets. 4y, let's just leave the plus sign there for a minute, plus minus 1 times 5x is minus 5x. We'll just put the minus 5x in a bracket. And the reason for that is we don't normally write things with a plus sign and a minus thing. We just don't write it like this. We put a bracket in there. Now we're going to add the last one. Minus 1 times minus 3y gives us a plus 3y, so we can just write it as 3y. I'm just going to go through it one more time to get rid of this bracket. We have 4y. The plus and the minus together gives us a minus, so this becomes minus 5x and plus 3y. Looking at our original expression, we have 4y. You can see that the plus 5x has changed to a minus 5x, and the minus 3y has changed to a plus 3y. So when you see questions like this, where you have a plus sign directly in front of parentheses, you can just remove the brackets and leave the signs the way they are. And if you see a minus sign directly in front of prayer, or any symbol of grouping actually, you can just remove the signs and remove the symbols of grouping and change the signs of each term, just like we did here. And that's wise, guys. Have a good day.